This lesson is find all x in R4 that map into the 0 vector by the transformation x into ax for the given matrix A. So here is A. I want to rewrite that as ax equals 0. So this part right here is here, which is your A, times x equal, and the last column will be 0. Okay, so this is your A, and this right here is the 0, which is here. So we're looking for the x. Okay, so let's move this up a little bit more. So as you can see, this is a 1 already, so we'll leave that alone. This is a 0, so we leave that alone. We just need to change this 2 into a 0. So opposite of 2 will be negative 2. So negative 2 times R1 plus R3. So negative 2 times 1 gives me negative 2. 2, negative 2 plus 2 gives me 0. Negative 2 times negative 4 gives me positive 8. 8 subtract 6 gives me 2. Negative 2 times 7 is negative 14. Plus 6 gives me negative 8. Negative 2 times negative 5 gives me positive 10. Subtract 4 gives me 6. Negative 2 times 0 is 0. Plus 0 is also 0. Again, the first row and the second row stay as is because this is a 1, this is a 0. We're just changing the last row, which is row 3. And the reason why we're changing row 3 because we need this 2 to become a 0. So the opposite of positive 2 will be negative 2. Again, negative 2 times 1 is negative 2 plus 2 gives me 0. Negative 2 times negative 4 is positive 8. 8 subtract 6 gives me 2. Negative 2 times 7 is negative 14. Plus 6, negative 8. Negative 2 times negative 5, which is 10. 10 subtract 4, 6. Negative 2 times 0 is 0. 0 plus 0 is also 0. Okay? Next, if you notice, this right here is a 1, so we'll leave that alone. So row 1, row 2, stay as is here. We need to make this become a 0, just like down here. So since this is a positive 2, we're going to do negative 2. So always opposite to get a 0. So positive 2, negative 2 times R2 plus R3. Okay, so negative 2 times 1, it's negative 2 plus 2 gives me 0. Negative 2 times negative 4 is positive 8. Subtract 8, which is 0. Okay. Now we need negative 2 times 3, which gives me negative 6. Negative 6 plus 6 also gives me 0. Negative 2 times 0 is 0. 0 plus 0 is also 0. Okay. So one more time. Negative 2 times 1 gives me negative 2 plus 2 gives me 0. Negative 2 times negative 4 gives me positive 8. 8 subtract 8 gives me this 0. Negative 2 times 3 gives me negative 6. Negative 6 plus 6 gives me this 0. Negative 2 times 0 is 0. 0 plus 0 is this 0. Okay. Next, we need this one right here to become a 0 because we have 0, 0, 0. So we need this to be a 0. Okay. So opposite of negative 4 will be positive 4. So we're multiplying 4 to row 2 and then add to row 1. Again, this is a 0, this is a 0, this is a 0. So we're good. Now we need this negative 4 to become 0. Okay, so opposite of negative 4 is positive 4. 4 times row 2 plus row 1. Okay, so 4 times 1, which gives me 4. Subtract 4, which gives me this 0. 4 times negative 4 gives me negative 16. plus 7 gives me negative 9. 4 times 3 will give me 12. 12 subtract 5 gives me this 7. 4 times 0 is 0 plus this 0 gives me this 0. Okay, so now we are completely done. No more solving because we have 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0. And another reason is this part right here is 0, so we can stop. Okay, so again, no more solving because I have 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0. Okay, and also this part right here, there's nothing here, so we can also stop as well. Okay, so now we have this variable right here is a 0, so we know that there's going to be a free variable here, a free variable here. Okay, so let's move this up a little bit more. So here we go. I have x1 minus 9 variable 3 plus 7 variable 4. Okay, so one more time. x1 minus 9 variable 3 plus 7 variable 4 equals 0. Solve for variable 1. So move the negative 9 over, 7 over. So I negative become positive 9. Positive 7 become negative 7. Next, we want to solve for variable 2. So variable 2 minus 4 variable 3 plus 3 variable 4 equals 0. Move the negative 4 and the 3 to the right side. So I have positive 4, negative 3. So this is variable 2. Variable 3, because there's nothing here and there's nothing here. So variable 3 and variable 4 are free. Okay, so one more time. Variable 1 came from this row. Variable 2 came from this row. There's nothing in variable 3 and 4 because there's nothing here, there's nothing here. So variable 3 and variable 4 is free. Now we want to write that in vector form. So I have x equal variable 1, variable 2, variable 3, variable 4. So variable 1 is right here. So write it over here. Variable 2, which is here, write it here. And then x3 and x4 is there. Okay. Next, we want to separate all the 3's and all the variable 3's and all the variable 4. Okay. So variable 3 is 9, 4, and 1. There's nothing for 4, so 0. Okay. Next, variable 4, I have negative 7, negative 3, which is here. I have nothing for here, so 0, but I do have for x4, which is 1. Okay, so again, separate all the x3, separate all the x4. So this is the solution to the problem we have up here. Okay, one more time. This is the solution. This is the solution to the answer to the problem up here. Okay. And when you have something like this, make sure you separate all the x3, variable 3, separate all the variable 4. If there is variable 1, variable 2, you separate them out. Okay. But here there's only two variable 3 and variable 4. Okay. So variable 3, I have 9, 4, 1. Okay, but there's nothing for variable 3 here, so that's why it's 0. Variable 4, I have negative 7, negative 3, which is here, but I have nothing here, the spot right here for variable 4, so it's 0. But I do have something for variable 4, which is 1 here. Okay, so this is the solution to the problem up here. Okay.